So here you are, young lady. How lovely to see you again.
It's so good to be with you, Mike. I can't think when it was. I mean, time just whips by when you've come to the cocktail hour of your life, and time just seems to go so fast. In the young days, waiting for Christmas took a whole year,
Yeah.
and now it just goes zip.
Yeah, I think we last met in Postcards from the Park, was it?
Yes, it was.
I think so. Was Rowena was with me?
That's right.
That's it. A long time ago. Long time ago, that, wasn't it?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
You
So
still look the same, Mike. You still look the same.
a little older, my dear.
Tiny bit. All of us are a little bit older.
So now, good job I brought this here. Seeing as my podcast is called Drink a Drink a Drink,
Yes.
I wonder why we called it Drink a Drink a Drink, Joe.
With Lily the Pink. That's why.
No, wait, come on then. It's called Drink a Drink a Drink. Have you got a drink?
No, and I've just finished it downstairs because I was so anxious about tuning myself in. Oh my God, you're on that. I was drinking a cup of Builder's tea.
Oh, hold on. You'll have to get the mug. It's in the kitchen. Mum will give it you.
You're literally opening a bottle, aren't you? I wish I was.
Yeah. I'm pretending it's a bottle of Bolly, but it's actually from Tesco Finest.
Excellent.
Oh no, we've got to do it properly.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be our first audio. So I said, well, just in case, I'll bring the champagne through to salute Patsy, haven't we?
Yeah.
God's sake, look at this.
Oh, look at that. That's so sweet.
To Joanna Lumley.
Oh, my love, my love.
Lovely to see you. Hold on. Oh, look at this. He doesn't even have to put a pop in because we're going to go. Here we go.
I love that champagne from a mug. That's
that's it.
That's very chic.
You can even see the.
Oh, look at the foam.
Oh dear!
Oh.
I'm not gonna drink it. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
So it's called Drink a Drink a Drink.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be in a full-length ball gown, small tiara, and thigh-length boots. I was going to tell you I've got nothing on, but this whole thing is.
I can see.
It's much better seeing you.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you.
Just to warn you that I've done some research on you.
Yeah.
Dame Joanna Lamond.
Yeah.
Dame Joanna Lamond?
Yeah.
What's Lamond?
Lamond is my middle name. It's a Scottish name.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Is that way like Billy Connolly?
Yeah.
You're Joanna Lamond Lumley,
Yeah.
or Joe Bag?
Joe Bag?
Lummers?
Yeah.
Jack? Jojo? Or shall I call you Jombly? Your parents were James, like mine. Mine was a James.
Yes.
Called Jimmy, was he?
Yes, he was.
Mine was called Jimmy from Peagram's. That was a grocer's store in Liverpool. And Beatrice,
yes,
your mum,
yeah,
who spoke fluent Urdu.
She did, because brought up as a child. Well, they were both. My father was born in Lahore, which is Pakistan now, but in those days it was.
Oh, he was born.
He was born there, yeah.
Wow! So the whole.
Yeah, and my mother's father was born in Ghazipur. I mean, so for a few generations, both sides of the family lived and served in India, either as soldiers or doctors or diplomats or my father's father was a banker, but the one before him was a soldier again. My dad was a soldier. And so we were it was the time when India was under British rule, and it was quite difficult to be working out there. Exactly.
And your dad was in the 6th Gurkhas?
Yes.
And spoke Gurkhali.
Gurkhali, which is actually sort of Nepalese, but it was the Gurkhali. If you were going to work with the Gurkha soldiers, before you were even allowed into the regiment, you had to learn to speak Gurkhali. Yeah, so that was a good thing. That was a good and important thing. I hate it, Mike, that we've stopped in this country learning as many languages as
Yeah.
we used to. At school, we used to do Latin at school, so I did Latin, but I also
That's
did
right.
French and German and Italian. And I'm so shocked now when people can't even pronounce a word in French and think it's rather ridiculous. You go, but these are our nearest neighbors. Out of courtesy, I think we would be cleverer if we spoke more languages, I think.
But you'd be pleased to hear that through the window here, lovely day here, you can see the River Dee and the end of Wales, where there the Welsh is spoken in quite a few schools.
I think that's beautiful. I think it's so important to keep these languages. I've got one sentence in Welsh,
Okay.
which I learned for a commercial for British Telecom when I was going around the country opening the smallest telephone exchanges in the whole of the United Kingdom. And the one in Wales was about the size of the TARDIS, like a police box practically. Only I could fit into it. So I squished myself into it and I opened the door and I said, Rwy'n cyhoeddi'r adeilad ar agor, which means I now declare this building open.
That's a great story. My auntie Dill, who was married to my mum's brother, Uncle Bill, she was from Wales, Welsh Wales, spoke Welsh, but she lived in Liverpool for a long time in the Eagle Hotel, Paradise Street, big pub there where I changed my name, come to think of it. And then her husband died. She went back to Wales. And the people thought that, because she looked very English. And so she went into the local grocery store, and these ladies in Welsh started to say, you know, it's the typical English, all in Welsh. And, you know, they're coming over here stealing our sheep and boys and da da da. And Auntie Dill didn't say a word, got her groceries, paid him and said, and as she went out the door, she spoke in fluent Welsh, beautiful Welsh. She said, hello, ladies, lovely to have met you. Lovely conversation you were having just then. Bye-bye.
Good for her.
Oh, aye.
Oh, bless her.
Now, you were born in Kashmir, right? India.
Yeah.
Like Spike, was he born in India?
He was born in India. He
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one.
Yeah.
And you have a son, Jamie,
Yeah.
with Michael, lovely name,
Yeah.
Claydon,
Claydon.
and granddaughter Alice.
Yep. And Emily.
Emily, I don't know about Em,
Yeah,
but
two of them.
Alice must be about 3.
They're 21 and 20 now.
Bloody hell, this is an old book I'm reading.
I know.
Wow.
21 and 20.
Wow.
I know. And my Jamie's 57, going to be 58 this year. It's so strange because well, Mike, you know what it's like. We don't really feel older, but we can see how old we are by our children growing and then grandchildren growing. That's how we measure the years now.
Yeah, I measure it in my dreadful health.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. That's my advice to all young people is don't get old. That's all. It's very simple. Now, but more importantly, you've been married to your present husband, Stephen.
Yeah.
Stevie Barlow.
Yeah.
No relation to Ken Curry Street Barlow. No, for 40 years.
We're going to be 39 this year, 39th wedding anniversary this year.
39. So you've got 4 years to catch up with me and Ro.
Wow.
We're 43 years this year.
A lovely Adrian Edmondson, who's married to Jennifer Saunders, was once asked, what's the secret of a long marriage? And he said, don't get divorced, which I thought was a very good answer. The truth is that if you're lucky enough, Mike, to be with somebody who is kind enough to not mind you and you adore, it kind of is okay. Do you know what I mean?
Well, mine should have given up on me a long time ago, and she deserves a medal. But yes, oh yeah, well, we'll go to that. And your Stephen is a conductor.
Yeah.
What bus?
He says if he had £1 or a shilling, a farthing for every time somebody said that, he'd be a rich man. No, the truth is that he's an opera conductor.
Opera and classical music.
Opera and classical music. And he started off as playing all the instruments, and he was an organist. He got an organ scholarship to Cambridge, but he was a musician from the start. And I think that all his music teachers could see that with his exceptional gift, and you know about exceptional musical gifts, they could see that in his head he was just the kind of person to become a conductor, because he could hear and understand and perceive all the orchestra. He could hear separately, extraordinarily different abilities in hearing. And along with things like perfect pitch and a perfect sense of tempi, he had a very good setup for becoming a good and communicative conductor, because it's no use just standing there waving your arms about and looking fabulous. You've got to suggest it all. And people say, what do conductors do? Do they just beat along in time with the music, with the orchestra? But of course, it's like almost anything. A film is actors and a script and lights, you know, lines and things like this. Unless somebody pulls it all together, it's just a jumble of things. And so, although all the musicians are hugely talented, as you know, top of the game, somebody to pick the sound, whether it's going to be loud or short, going to be long or closed, whether it's going to be, you know, all of that is shaped and molded into one perfect thing by the conductor.
Yeah, I think I hate him already.
You'd love him, Mike, and he'd love you. He does love you.
He's too good. He's no. And so back to the script here.
Yeah.
All my notes.
Yeah.
You went to army school outside Kuala Lumpur.
That's right. When in those days, it was called the emergency in Malaysia. It was called Malaya then.
Yes, it was Malaya. They bring you up on that, don't they?
They do, sure.
Stop saying that.
Don't say
Malaysia now.
Malaysia now.
Yeah.
But it was called Malaya then, and it was when the British Army, Malaya was a protectorate, and they were stopping the terrorists coming down from the north, and we were there. And so almost the whole of, while I was there in Malaya at that time, between 51 and 54, it was a sort of lockdown. So travel was always in armored cars. If you were going to go into the hills or anywhere you went in convoys, so you'd be safe. Sometimes traveling in trains across the country, they would say, everybody lie down on the floor in case pot shots through the windows. I mean, as children, you know what it's like, Mike. You just think everything's completely normal.
Yeah.
Normal childhood.
A bit of an interesting childhood.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought I belonged to Malaya. So it was such a shock to come away from there. Because before then we'd been in Hong Kong, and of course I was born in England. So mostly the Far East seemed to be my home. And it was strange to come to England, which just looked and sounded and smelt and so different.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I have been to Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
With my youngest son, Sonny.
Yeah.
We went over there for a Liverpool John Moores University exhibition. So I've actually experienced Kuala Lumpur.
Wow.
Before a lovely place, before lovely temples there. Oops, hit the microphone. Sorry, Josh. Just saying to my producer's son that I bashed his microphone. So we have been to Kuala Lumpur, but then forget Kuala Lumpur, forget the exotic world you lived in. You then came to England, to Kent and Mickleden.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
That's how you say it, Mike. And it was the dearest, tiniest little school. It was a school it was sort of kindergarten up to 11 years old. And it had a few boarders. The most they ever had was 11, and sometimes there were only 7. And it was very, very small. And those were mostly children, maybe whose parents were overseas. And it was in, do you know Oasthouses? You know where they dry down in Sussex? In Kent and Sussex, it's where they dried all the hops.
Yeah, that's it.
Our schoolrooms were in these 2 roundels.
They're beautiful.
Beautiful places. And it was just a tiny, sweet little tiny, sort of almost like a village school. And I was there until I was 11, 8 until 11. It was a sweet place. And I still know 1 or 2 people from Mickleden. Yeah.
Shall we rename it Michael Dean? Is that where you learned your love of Latin?
No, they didn't teach. They taught French there, but Latin came next at the next school I went to, which was called St. Mary's. It was an Anglican convent, and it was on the hills behind Hastings. A very beautiful, set in an old building. It was a very poverty-stricken school in that we had, I don't know, gas light in the corridors, no heating,
Okay.
and bread and marge for high tea and things like that. But the nuns were marvelous. They didn't try to make us into holy people. They just tried to make us civil and good and nice and happy. But they loved teaching, so they taught us physics and chemistry and Latin and ancient Greek and things like that. And
So,
again, it was a boarding school, but there were only 70 boarders, so it was quite small still.
so could they translate this for me, please? Non nobis solum, sed toti mundo nati, which was the motto of the Liverpool Institute High School for Boys, where I went to school in Liverpool.
Un nobis soli.
Non nobis solum,
Yeah.
sed toti mundo nati.
Something about the whole world being born,
Oh,
not
that's right.
only to us,
Yeah.
something not alone to us, but to the given to the whole world.
Yes, hey, you do speak Latin. Very good. You passed the test.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. That's it. Good. Hold on. What about you being a SWAT? You got 8 O levels and 1 A level. Is that right?
It is. I mean, I sat
Yeah.
3 A levels, but they were all languages. They were French, Latin, and German. And all those books, you had to read the set books. And I was a bit of a tick at school. And I was smart when I was young because I had a good photographic memory and I could just get through exams. But when we got to set books, I just didn't read them. So, of course, they'd ask questions about these books, which I don't know, Tonio Kruger by Thomas Mann. It meant nothing to me. I knew nothing at all. Of course I failed them. It was ridiculous. It was so shame-making. But actually, I didn't want to resit them. I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want to do anything at all. I wanted to get out into the world. Time of the swinging 60s, just beginning, 1963.
Well,
I want to get up to London and see what it's like.
Well, you'd be very pleased to know that I got 1 O-level GCE in art.
Beautiful.
Because I wasn't thick, I was thick.
You were not thick. I think exams are foolish anyway, to tell you the truth, Mike.
Yeah.
And some kids are great at doing exams and some find it awful, but have got a lot of knowledge, but just can't do the exams. It isn't phrased. I don't think we need exams. I think we ought to have a rounded education.
Good.
So know all kinds of things, including how to feed a little baby or change a nappy, including all kinds of things like how to start a car with jump lead things. All sorts of things, much more practical things. Certainly a bit more practical about money. The nuns didn't know anything about money or tell us about keeping receipts or, saving up money to pay stuff you never knew you'd have to pay, like taxes.
Yeah. No, then, so therefore, it was important because, did you get it from the nuns? You wanted to be a ballerina.
Well, that was when I was young, and I did do ballet when I was 8 and 9 and 10, 11. I did a ballet exam, and I was asked, they've kindly offered me a place at Sadler's Wells. But at the time, I had a friend who had ponies, and I thought I wanted to be a show jumper or a racer or something. I wanted to be a brain surgeon. But anyway, all these ridiculous ideas. And I thought, if I'm a ballet dancer, I won't be able to go on riding horses. So I said, no, I don't want that place. Actually, and because I grew to 5'8" in those days, it was too tall. I think now they've got more tall dancers, but in those days, about 5'5" was the top.
Yeah. So you decided, instead of being a ballerina, to be a model.
Yes, I wanted to be an actress, actually, but I tried for RADA when I was still at school, but I hadn't any idea what a drama school would be like. I didn't know. The audition pieces I chose, Mike, were ridiculous because I hadn't, again, hadn't bothered to read the plays, so I didn't really know what I was talking about. I was so lazy, I can't tell you. I was such a stupid tick. Anyway, the truth is they said no, and I went, oh, boo, I'd like to be an actress. Anyway, at the same time in London, everybody, it seemed, was a model or a photographer or a hairdresser or something like that, or a singer, or, so I thought, well, I could be a model for a bit. I'll just do it for a bit. And I did it for 3 years. And it was the greatest fun. It was hard work, and it wasn't terrifically well paid, but it was great. Do you know? I got to travel a lot, got to meet and work with phenomenal photographers and dress designers and people.
Did you ever work with Dave Bailey?
I did once or twice then, but since then he's become a friend and I've done all kinds of pictures. But it's funny, when you long for something in your life, Mike, sometimes it doesn't come then.
Yeah,
it comes much later on when you don't really care about it.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Don't need it. It's the same as when you're looking for love. Don't hunt it down.
Yeah.
It'll come and find you.
Yeah. Well, you did. You found love, didn't you?
I did find love. I was actually in love all the time. I spent my whole young life, and now I was sort of in love all the time. I fell in love 10 times a day. I was in love with everybody.
That was, I think, far more important. You should hear my rendition. It was something that I learnt in school.
Yeah.
When I was in Liverpool Institute High School for Boys. It was a Dylan for my first entry into show business on a school stage. And it was, my line was, I used to climb the reservoir railings and pelt the swans. That's it.
Oh,
Caroline, you loved acting so much, you joined our acting profession. Do you see when I said our acting profession?
I did.
So I was an actor.
You are an everything, Mike, aren't you?
Thank you, darling. That's good. That's good you're telling them. You went into something called the New Avengers.
But that was late on. That was when I was 30, and I'd started acting when I was about 21.
Okay.
And I did little things. I did a little part in a James Bond film. I did a little part in this. I did a little part in a play. I was
James Bond. Who is James Bond?
It was on Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby.
Okay.
It was a brilliant film. Everybody poo-pooed George Lazenby, but actually it stood the test of time, that film.
Okay.
Very, very good. And Telly Savalas as Blofeld. And Diana Rigg married George Lazenby, and she got killed at the end. Shot through the head. It was gorgeous, and it was such fun, and it was so beautiful. We shot it in Switzerland. We were there for 2 months, even though we had tiny parts. Those were the days when it was just, when all of life seemed to be fun and lavish and thrilling.
The 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Avengers was later, the New
Avengers was much later on.
With
again, it was something I never thought I would get, because they seemed to have seen every girl in London and outside London, everybody in Britain they'd seen for that part. And they honestly didn't want me. And I said, please, will you test me? Because I had a feeling in my heart. It was as if I could see into the future, Mike. And I thought, that part's mine and they don't know it yet. They must give me a scene test, which they did. And then I got the part.
And you were Purdy, who was an ex-ballerina.
She was. They wrote that in. I was a bit cross. I said, but I can't dance. They said, oh, it'll be all right.
And your lovely new career was taken over by the professionals.
I know.
Right.
We did 2 seasons of the New Avengers, and they tried out both Martin Shaw and Lewis Collins as sort of boyfriends or villains or something in the New Avengers. And then, lo and behold, suddenly the professionals with Gordon Jackson. And those chaps made such a success of that. And the same producers, and off they went. But the Avengers drifted away. But Gareth, darling Patrick McNee, we all went on working. We all went on acting in different things. But it was lovely to have had 2 years, Mike, in the New Avengers, all of it shot on film. So the equivalent of having shot 13 feature films in 2 years. It was hard work. And all the best actors in Britain came in as guest stars in it.
Right.
Fine. It was lovely.
Now, did you know that Lou Collins and I were ladies hairdresser apprentices together?
No.
in Liverpool, in a place called Andre Bernard's,
What?
Liverpool city centre. Lou and I used to clean the blinds, stack the towels, wash people's hair for a couple of years. Yeah, that's how.
Brilliant.
And then I
Yeah.
went into the telly. I joined Scaffold
Yeah.
into the telly. Lou was dead, jealous.
I bet.
And then years later, I saw him and he was an ordinary Liverpool lad, right?
Yeah.
And so he's just going to be a hairdresser. And then years later, he told me the story. In fact, I saw him in the Edinburgh Festival, and he came up to me and he said, "Hello, Mike." I said, "Hello, Lou. How are you going, Lou?" He said, "Oh, jolly good." I said, "Hold on. Why are you all posh now?" "Oh, no, sorry, I've been to RADA. I'm rather well trained."
Did he go to RADA?
Yeah, he was now an actor
Yeah.
and went into the professionals,
Oh
etc.
my God.
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, I never knew that he came from Liverpool. He did in his accent.
No, true, absolutely. And in that same place in Liverpool, the same hairdressing salon, as we call them, there was a gentleman. I was introduced by the boss, Richard Mizelis. So, because we were all from London,
Yeah.
all the people, and they said he was taken into the office. And I thought, well, this is it. They've sussed me out. They know I'm no good at hairdressing. They're going to throw me out. And he said, "You are Peter." I had a Michael there, so I was called Peter. "Here you are, Peter. You're going to go into the show business with Scaffold, and your brother is doing rather well on music. Well, as a young man, I'd like you to shake." He was an ex-hairdresser. "I'd like you to shake hands with this young man because he's going to try being a comedian down in London." And so there on the end of my hand was Jimmy Tarbuck.
Stop it. No.
He was a barber
Oh my
in the
God.
same place.
How fantastic. Honestly, a skill with hairdressing, it never leaves you. Only because being a model, you had to sit with people cutting or doing stuff to your
Yeah,
hair.
of course.
And I always watch them. And ever since then, Mike, I've always cut hair. I cut my husband's hair. If anybody comes and sits down in our kitchen and stays for too long, out come my scissors. And I give them a bit of a shape up. And I cut my own hair, well, you can probably see.
Oh, good, good.
Not brilliant. And I color it myself. It'd be better if you were doing it, Mike.
Oh, no. You see, the trouble is with me, I had I was going along very fine, thank you, till I broke my arm in Hadders Age near Sheffield. And this dropped like that.
No.
It's dead. It was a dead arm. And so I was learning drums with my brother and his group. And then this dead. It was a dead fish on the end of my arm.
Ah,
And so, long story short, not only did Ringo get the job,
yeah.
but also I was no good on hairdressing. Well, not that good on hairdressing.
No,
'Cause
couldn't.
it needs two hands to mold, and so I didn't pursue that career.
But in Scaffold, you played something in Scaffold? You didn't
No.
just sing. Did you only sing?
No, we Scaffold were not now far more importantly.
Yeah.
Do you know, just released, there's a Scaffold box set that has just come out now with all the albums, all the singles, a DVD, yeah, and a booklet in it with lots of my photographs. And it's at the grand price of £38.99.
All your work.
All are the definitive collection of Scaffold called A Box of Scaffold.
Wow.
Not that I would get an advert in and say it's on esoterics, cherry, what's it called? What's it called, Josh? Cherry Red and Esoteric Records.
Yeah.
Not that I would blatantly plug that.
No, I would never have, accused you ever of just naming your record and saying so clearly where we could get it. This is nonsense. But actually now that's my best birthday present for everybody.
3-1 for you if you're a good girl. If you answer my next question.
Yeah.
In now going back to the 60s,
Yeah.
you were a big fan of Bieber and
I was, yeah.
Barbara Holonicki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was, first of all, I shared a flat with 3 other girls in Earl's Court on the 4th floor, and you'd run upstairs, and we didn't have much money, so we didn't have a fridge. We'd put the milk bottles on the windowsill. Sometimes we didn't have much money for clothes, so we'd share each other's dresses. And if somebody was going out, sometimes that would be the only dress that could go out. So you'd have to get in because there wasn't. But when Barbara Holonicki opened this little shop, Bieber, the first one was in Abingdon Road, and it was about the size of this.
Did you live in Abingdon Road?
In Abingdon Road. Do you remember the High Street, Kensington?
Did you live there?
No, we lived in Earl's Court. In Earl's Court, in Trebovier Road, off Earl's Court.
Oh, okay.
But you could walk up there, and there'd be
I remember.
there, and there were the feather boas hanging over, and
Yeah.
on boots and struggling in and out of dresses, which cost £3, and everybody could afford that. And it was a revolution of young clothing. That at the same time as Mary Quant and Tuffin and Fold and all the kind of names, and then all the Lord Jim and all the chaps' clothes.
Yeah.
As you know, were dandies in those days.
Yeah.
Dressing up to the nines with neck scarves and beads and everything.
Yeah.
Great days, actually.
You know, one of my biggest regrets, you remember she went from, was it Kenny High Street?
Yeah.
In the small shop, and then bought the big store, the great big store. One of my biggest regrets was when they sold that. They said, everything must go. You can take it. We're going to give it to you. And my biggest regret is living up here. I thought, wouldn't it be great getting a big van, going down to London, loading it up with Barbara Holonicki's Genius.
Oh my God.
Bringing her up to Liverpool, keeping it, and then making a fortune. The little problem was I didn't have any money. So I missed that opportunity.
Mike, in those days, sometimes, I'd say, God, there was a 5-story house in Earl's Court going for 4,300. And people said, why didn't you buy it? You go, I don't have 10 shillings.
Right now, to get to somebody a bit bigger house than all of us, I believe you had a friendship with the original Queen.
The truth is, I had met Her Majesty. You mean Her late Majesty?
Yeah, the one.
Well, I was once invited to a lunch at Buckingham Palace. I don't think my heart has ever been beating so hard as to go up there and to go into that quite a small, not small, but I mean, it wasn't kind of like the big palace rooms. It was their private rooms at the back. And there must have been about 12 of us for lunch there. And this lovely, I remember the yellowy room with light pouring into it, and us all there being given drinks to hold. Like my hand was the whole glass of sherry. And suddenly the Queen came in. And honestly, it's like seeing somebody, somebody who's so famous, so as well known to you as your own mother.
Yes, but she reminded me of my mum.
Yes, and I think she reminded lots of people of their mothers. And she came in smiling and you become dumbstruck a bit. I think I began talking complete nonsense, as everybody does, when the Queen, poor Queen, she must have met people just gibbering all her life.
Well, we were some of the gibberers. I remember at the Liverpool Empire, when she opened one of our tunnels.
Yeah.
She all came around. All you comedians, all the top of Liverpool comedians, all on the show. And then would you like to meet Her Majesty the Queen? And I must admit, I'm not a great royalist, but I thought, well, I can tell my children and my grandchildren that I shook the Queen of England's hand.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, I'll do it. So I got in line and came round. She slowly came round. And in the end, I shook the Queen of England's white glove.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I did. And she was chatting away. And Jimmy Tarbuck still tells the story because he thinks it's me. That because Her Majesty was on a train at Lime Street, the royal train, this is like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so she said, I'm terribly sorry, I have to go and catch my train. And so Roger McGough said, why don't you get the next one, Mom? As a joke, you know. And Jimmy Tarbuck still tells everyone that I cracked that joke. Well, I'm not telling anyone that I didn't. And then the next time I met her was in the Museum of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Multi-million-pound Museum of Liverpool. And they asked me to do an exhibition on the top floor, Mike McCartney's Liverpool. So I said, a pleasure, absolutely. And the Queen is going to open the whole thing. Great. So there's my photographs there. Next thing, the Queen comes up. And this time I shook her black glove.
Yes.
And she said she was she's a lovely lady, as you know.
Yeah.
Very lovely lady. And she just said, oh, did you take all these photographs? And I said, yes, Muhammad, I certainly did. And if you'd like me to take one of you, special price. The photograph is outside that door there.
Yeah.
The photographer got it. So she's quick. She killed herself laughing.
Yeah.
Terrible. They were furious, all the equerries and all that lot. All the Lord Mayors, all of that. But she got it. She's a lovely lady. Was.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. It was such a long time in people's lives. I mean, I was young enough, Mike, you were young enough to know. I mean, I was in Malaysia, when she was crowned queen, and I was 6 or 7 years old, 7 years old. But a lot of people only knew the Queen. They'd known nobody else in all their lives. The Queen had always been there.
Yes.
That was the world, the outpouring of grief. And when she died, Mike, I was filming one of my big travel programs, and we were on the Spice Trail, and we were coming back we were in Indonesia at the time, on a very far-flung little tiny island where they spoke no English. But one of the villagers came to me and took my hands and just held my hands, and just then went patting to the chest, just went, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, like that. So touching. She was loved around the world, that one.
Yeah, she was. Well, she dedicated her life.
Yeah.
That totally dedicated her life.
I know.
That job.
Yes.
You did it so well, so cool, so never flustered.
Absolutely.
I really rated her. She was good. Another one that I rated, and you might have met. Did you actually meet Muhammad Ali?
I did.
Ooh.
I was standing in for Terry Wogan. His television program, sometimes when he'd go on holiday. And it was called, what was it called? Wogan. Probably just called Wogan in the evening.
I think it was, yeah.
Quite an early evening, maybe 7 o'clock show. And they would usually have 2, 3, 4, 5 guests, maybe a music interlude, something like that. And on this occasion, Wogan was away, and it was when the three greats were touring the Rumble in the Jungle. So it was George Foreman, Joe Frazier, and Muhammad Ali. And sadly, that time, Mr. Ali had got the Parkinson's that eventually took him away, and so he was stumbling and shakier chap.
Sure.
All here still, but it was difficult for him to speak.
Yeah.
And giant men came and sat quietly on the thing. And Muhammad Ali, of course, it was a live program, so it's not recorded anywhere. But he'd made up a little poem for me, one of his little funny poems, which just touched my heart. And because he'd been brought on in a blackout when the band was playing or something, he could be sitting and not be seen.
Right.
And they took him out the same way. So when the lights went down after our interview, Harry Carpenter was there because they were talking about boxing. Although I adore heavyweight boxing, I didn't know too much about it. And when the lights went down again, I couldn't think how to say goodbye to Muhammad Ali. So I took his great hand and just kissed it. And in my hand and kissed it. So that was thrilling.
He was special, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I saw him in a place called Spargo's in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I saw him over the other side of the restaurant. And so I thought to myself, dare I? Because I had this book that Liverpool had given me. And they asked me, any stars you see in America, can you get them to sign it?
Yeah.
I went over and said, hello, Mohammed, I'm Mike from Liverpool. Oh, hi, Mike. Can you just sign it? And I've got it still.
What, he just signed it?
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
I think he's I'm the greatest. I think he signed it, my best of Liverpool again. And he said, oh, I've been to Liverpool. No, they're going to like this better. The next story, so I'd met him there, and the next story was in the middle of the night here, because it'd be different time in Los Angeles. And so at the middle of the night, sort of 4 or 5, the phone goes and it's on the other side. My wife, Rowena, got the phone. What the hell's this ringing at this time of the night? And so she gets it and passes it over and said, Mike, it's Muhammad Ali for you. And he said, hello, how are you, Muhammad? Oh, I'm great, dinner. What are you doing? And he found out I had 3 girls. And he said, oh, girls, and he had 1 or 2 or whatever. And he said, girls, it's I love them, but it's such a responsibility. You've got to look after them. And that's all he said. Bye, Mohammed.
Was he phoning you, Mike? I mean, why wouldn't anybody phone you? But why was he phoning you?
I don't know. I think it was about a charity, big charity in America. Yeah.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Well, after the Harry Carpenter thing, he went off. I think it wasn't Joe Bugner, but somebody was ill, very ill in hospital. And after this interview with the Wogan interview, when he was not well at all, he insisted on being taken straight from the studio to the hospital to see this other poor boxer who'd been hurt so badly. He was a darling man.
Special.
Yeah.
He was unique. And a great honor to have met him.
Yeah, me too.
Now here it says, is it true you're a trustee of the Born Free Foundation? And
yes, I'm called founder patron now, or something like that. Yeah.
And you chased Rothschild's giraffe down Kenya. What the hell is a Rothschild?
They're slightly different marking. Usually they're called reticulated giraffe, the most common ones, which we know. Rothschild giraffe have long, on their beautiful legs, they have long white, as if they've got long white socks on all their legs. They're much rarer. And the aim was to catch some and move them across Kenya to start a new breeding colony in a different part of Kenya. And so it involved darting them.
Okay.
Makes them go to sleep, which is very dangerous for a giraffe because they, the blood thing and all their long necks, they mustn't be down for very long. Just get their heads into a thing so they don't see and get frightened. Stand them on their feet again, get them into a truck which takes them, put them into a stockaded kind of place called a boma, where you would hold them for a few days, keep them calm, keep them safe. All of it was to keep them calm, because wild animals are wild and they get terrified about all sorts of things. And they can die of heart attacks just from sheer panic at being with people. Anyway, these darling giraffe were moved, and then on the day that they were to be going out, they took the great gates of the boma apart. And one just ran straight out on its great legs, but there were 1 or 2 which went, I don't quite get what it is. And the very last one, we were waiting, and suddenly it understood what the gate was, ran through it. Oh, Mike, I was howling. It was so thrilling.
I've got to tell you about the time that I went to Zambia. The government, it was a government thing. And I said to my wife, I think she was having one of our kids, one of these Joshes or Max or something. Yeah. And she said, no, I can't. No, I'm not going. So I asked my daughter, Abby, who was only about 14, would you like to come? So she's got on record somewhere, apart from actually later going on the Zambezi and nearly drowning her on the Zambezi. We went up north. Yeah. And let's tell you, I went up north on safari and then down, rapid shooting on the Zambezi, as that was my payoff. Yeah. Or to be paid in kwacha. You could be paid in kwacha, but you're not allowed out. You get thousands of kwacha, but you're not allowed to take it out of the country. So this was the thing, but and she's got the record on a safari of me being allowed out of the Jeep and going up to enormous giraffes. You know how tall they are. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, she's got on video of me going up saying, hiya, trying to calm these giant creatures down. Hiya. It's lunatic, scouser. And she's actually got that on, and I took the photographs. Fantastic. Got that on thingy.
funniest thing is that giraffes, seeing them is like seeing something prehistoric, isn't it?
Yeah.
You cannot believe how extraordinary and beautiful they are and how different. I have such a passion for wild animals and animals of all kinds. And as David Attenborough is now saying, the things in the ocean, they defy description. They're so beautiful and strange, better than anything we could do in any of our science fiction films. Lovelier than anything.
Oh, he's a wonderful man, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
David Attenborough, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I got a letter from him once when I was trying to save the whales.
Yeah.
I did a record called All the Whales in the Ocean. Very nice record. And he wrote me a letter saying, thank you for trying to save the whales. And I've still got that somewhere.
How lovely.
That was
99. He's one of the great
99.
Legendary figure, that one.
No, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now then, did Uri Gellar bend your spoon in the kitchen?
Look, everybody says, oh, it's a trick, it's a trick. We were at, I think it was called the AA Club, one of those huge, rather grand clubs on Pall Mall.
Called Alcoholics Anonymous, love.
It's a huge club with very grand things, and it was for a charity. So we're all there for a charity. Uri Gellar is there, and there's a group of people, because at that time he was just, nobody could believe him. He was extraordinary. Such an extraordinary man. And we got to talking about things, and he called to one of the club servants, one of the waiters was around. He said, could you bring me a teaspoon? Could you bring me a teaspoon? Chap went off, because it was drinks time, so we didn't have spoons. Went and brought a little tray with some spoons on it, but they were the club spoons. And Uri Gellar took the spoon. I haven't got a spoon here, but he has a biro.
Yeah.
And he literally went like that with his finger.
You could see it.
And it went down like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about that boy. I don't know what it is. But I think it's foolish to say nothing. I tell you something else that he did, which was very, very strange. I was doing a voiceover. We often do voiceovers, things like that.
Yeah.
Studio. It's very, very quick, in and out. You're usually booked for an hour. You might do it in 20 minutes. Anyway, I was waiting in the studio, and I arrived just before my time. The television set in the corner. It was afternoon television, and he was a guest on one of these afternoon shows. And I looked and I said, oh, it's Uri Gellar on the afternoon show. And he was talking about, the usual thing, bending spoons, setting stuff like this, things going wrong. I went out after the voiceover I'd done, didn't go to anything, just went out to my car. I couldn't get into my car. Because my keys had bent. My car keys had bent. I had to call the AA. And they had to bring me another key. My car key, you can't bend a car key.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And it was in my bag, but just because I'd seen him and he was doing bending things on that time.
Okay, I'll tell you something else that he does. He bends minds as well.
Does he?
Because I was in Granada Television doing promotion from my McGear album, and I had the Warner Brothers lad, Martin, with me, who had a McGear T-shirt on.
Yeah.
The only one he had. And suddenly there's Uri Gellar coming towards us. And I said, it's Uri Gellar. Say hello to him. Take a picture with him. It's Uri Gellar. And so Gellar stopped and we said, this is Mike, he's done a new album, etc. And Uri said, I want that T-shirt. The one that Martin had on. And Martin said, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get you, Warner Brothers, I'll get you one from, no. I want that T-shirt. And he wouldn't let go. He just, in the end, Martin, like in a trance, took it off. He had nothing underneath it. Took it off and gave it to Uri Gellar. Uri Gellar has now got a yellow McGear T-shirt somewhere. Bent his mind. Well, it worked.
It worked. My God, how strange.
Another one for you. Did you get a letter from the wonderful David Niven?
I was in 2 Pink Panther films. After Peter Sellers had died, they decided to make 2 more films. Now, they should never have really made them, but Blake Edwards was determined to do it and whatever. And they were going to call it The Trail of the Pink Panther, which was trying to find out where Clouseau appeared to. But of course, we all went, he's dead. That's why he's disappeared. But they went, no, we can make a story out of this. And so I was playing a French girl, following little detective girl following where he might have gone. And on the same, in the film, she went and interviewed this character, all the people who'd been in the Pink Panther film. So there was Capucine, there was Herbert Lom, there was Cato, Clouseau's private servant. And of course, there was David Niven, the fabulous David Niven. And I fell in love with him so fast.
Yeah.
As of course everybody did when they met him. And he was just a completely darling and funny man, charming beyond belief. Unbelievably, a first cousin of Patrick McNee.
Oh, was he?
Ran in the family, yeah.
Oh, good.
And Niv and I stayed in touch long after those films were made, but he was already ill when he was filming them. And he had motor neuron disease even then.
Oh, no.
And then it got worse and worse. And he wrote, and the last letter I've got treasured, he could only write, like President Trump, in a great thick black pen.
Right.
Like a big pentel. And at the end of a page that long, he said, it's taken me 14 minutes to write. So long, darling, darling man.
And did he say, please, to you, did he say, please write a book? If I can, you can.
He did.
That's what I read.
He
because
did.
When I read Moon's a Balloon, right?
Yeah.
That was like, what? It's like,
Oh.
I couldn't put it down. It was one of those books that, and Bring on the Empty Horses, when you read Niven, you just can't put it down.
You can't put it down.
I wrote a book, Thank You Very Much, after that.
Yeah.
The biggest compliment I ever got was people coming, Mr. McCartney, I read your book and I couldn't put it down.
Oh, God.
The highest compliment.
Yes, it is. Like, oh, absolutely thrilling. Yeah, weren't we lucky, you see? These are giants.
Yeah. Oh, talking about giants, what do you think of Dirk Bogarde?
God, I adored him. I mean, I saw him in A Tale of Two Cities when I was about 9 and cried so much I had to be left in the cinema and they had to go and get the car and drag me out. I mean, I was literally just hopeless when Sidney Carton gives up his own life and is executed at the end. Years later, I'd always said lovely things about him and how much I admired him and so on. And he wrote me a lovely letter. I had a little column in the Times newspaper. It was called Joanna Lumley's Diary, and I used to write things about this and that and the other. And he wrote a charming letter to me via the Times saying, thank you for saying nice things about me and how lovely and whatever. So I wrote back and he was charming. And then when the Times newspaper changed editors, a whole lot of us writers went to another newspaper which started by Eddie Shaw called Today. So all kinds of writers like that moved over to that. And Eddie asked me to do interviews with people. And one of the interviews I did was with Dirk Bogarde. So I flew down to the south of France. And I said to my parents before I went, I said, I'm going to see Dirk down in the south of France. It'll only be just for an interview. So I fly down and back the same day. So what on earth can I take him? Mummy said, take him a pot of my marmalade. Wonderful marmalade. So I wrapped it up, took it down, gave it to him. And after that, every time we met, every time he wrote, he said, where's my marmalade? He was a brilliant, extraordinary man.
Excellent. Now then, do you remember a TV series called Absolutely Fabulous with Jennifer Saunders, in which you played a character called Patsy, and later one called Amandaland, when you were Felicity, the mother of Amanda, because we love them.
Do you know, Mike, I've been so lucky. I've been in shows that right back to the new Avengers and following that Sapphire and Steel, shows that people have loved watching.
Yeah.
And they're usually very exciting or very funny or something. In the case of Absolutely Fabulous, brilliant Jennifer Saunders had written this show, and it was just so brilliantly funny, and we laughed so much rehearsing it and just adored, all of us just adored each other and loved doing it. And Amandaland, again, beautifully written, because, Mike, as you well know, you can't really do anything unless the foundation, the writing is good. It doesn't matter how many stars you throw at it, how much money, it won't work if the writing's not there. So Amandaland, I'm thrilled that people liked it because it was
about
very good writing.
Right, so we loved that one before where they're around the school gates.
Motherland.
Yes.
Well, this is the same writers.
Yes.
Yes, clever. Yeah.
Excellent. Now then, we're going to have to wrap it up, my darling.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we are.
Keep it all thingy.
Yeah.
Apart from saying, do you miss B, the male cat?
Very much.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Just be like mad. And then we had two cats who were neighbors sort of said, you can have them and look after them if you want. And so we had two called Fleur and Pingu. And Fleur had to go about 3 years ago. And Pingu, we've reckoned is 24.
Oh, okay.
And she's
But B was 18, wasn't she?
Fleur,
B.
you,
B.
B was 18 when he went.
That's right.
You are so clever, Mike. But little Pingu is now 24.
Wow.
She patrols the garden, and every night the last thing I do is at my desk here. She comes onto the desk when I'm going to close down my laptop for the night, and I sing her songs, any songs I can think of. Advance Australia Fair, Sea Shanties, something I've just heard, or last night, We'll Meet Again. And I comb her, and I've got brushes and combs, which I keep on the desk here. And that's the last thing we do at night. And in the morning up, she gets, has her breakfast, goes out towards the garden. I think cats are out of this world. We would have adored dogs, Mike, but the way we live, it's too...
Yeah.
You can't have a dog.
May I say, I've got to say before we go, I love your room.
I'm so pleased. Look,
That's
it's
great.
all covered with pictures.
That's great.
We've got lovely sort of books and things like this. It's all, it's much filled. I love, I'm a maximalist, not a minimalist, Mike. I like lots of...
If you can see here, I've got...
I can, look. Oh, oh, it's fine.
Picture I took a scaffold a long
Oh,
ago. Did I mention they've got a box set coming out?
Tell me, where do I find that again?
Isn't it
Cherry
on
red.
Cherry Red Esoteric? Yeah. Oh, it's only $38.99, isn't it? Right. Finally, have you done that portrait of Maestro Steve?
Can't sit still. I haven't done it, actually. And every time we've got a little tiny cottage in Scotland, which is our sort of runaway bolt hole. But every time we're up there, and I think, oh, I could paint him up there because we could do that. Of course, as soon as we're up there, all we want to do is to be on the hills and walking and not doing stuff like that. So I haven't done it. He's the great painter June Mendoza has done a wonderful picture of him sitting at the piano, a painting so fine, it catches him completely. And she'd said to him, I want to paint you at the piano. So she did, and it's beautiful. So I'll just have to sit quietly. I will do one, Mike. You've rekindled efforts, yeah.
Okay. And finally, can you tell us all about Joanna and the Maestro?
Yes, that's a podcast we do together. And late at night, when I'm having a bath, late at night with the door open into the bedroom, and I listen to classic FM or to Swiss classic music stations and French and so on, just to hear classic music at night time. And I shout questions through the door to Stephen, and he answers them all. And he's never impatient with how stupid I am or how dim the question is. And I thought it'd be so nice for people like me who adore music but aren't completely on top of it, and he's on top of it, to ask and ask questions, and so that somebody who just is a beginner or just somebody who knows a lot, or even musicians, can all listen in and hear me asking questions and the great maestro answering them.
Excellent. Okay, Sugar Plum, I'm not going to take any more of your time.
Bye-bye, my Mike. You're a lovely, lovely, darling boy. Thank you for having me.
That's my absolute pleasure. Say hello to Stevie and all your tribe.
And my love to Rowena and the entire gang.
I will indeed.